Good morning, Nina. Because I just want to talk to you about something really cool that I learned in one of my classes, or I thought it was cool. So it's gonna be like, it's like you're in class with me. You might as well just still be here. Disclaimer before I actually start. And I'm in different clothes, and the lighting's different because it's a different day, because the computer was messing up when I made the first half of this video. But here's my disclaimer. I'm about to talk about religion, and I've only been in this religious studies class for about 4 weeks, and I was raised in a Presbyterian Christian household, so I see other religions kind of through that lens. There's something I can really do about that. It's just, my mindset from growing up, and I just want to be careful because, I'm not an expert. That's my disclaimer. I might be wrong about some things, but just in case anybody else ever watches these videos, which I doubt, I'm not trying to misrepresent anything or appropriate a religion that I'm not part of. I just think it's cool, and I want to talk about something cool and really interesting that I like, and that's it. So now I'm going to talk about it. In Hinduism, you've got Brahmin, right? And that's Brahman, not to be confused with Brahmins, the priests, or Brahma, the creator god. But it's kind of like reality. It's everything. Like, it's the world, it's the afterlife, it's the before life. I don't know. It's everything, and it's kind of like a god, but it's not exactly like a being that carries out wishes and commands and has feelings and thoughts. It's what is. Then you've got the Atman, which in this version of the Upanishads, which would be an ancient traditional Hindu text, originally in Sanskrit. Clearly, I can't read Sanskrit, so this is in English. He translates Atman as the self, self with a capital S. And here's what the Chandogya, I'm pronouncing everything wrong, so bear with me. Here's what the Chandogya Upanishad has to say about the self. Like the wind, like clouds, like thunder and lightning, which rise from space without physical shape and reach the transcendent light in their own form. Those who rise above body consciousness ascend to the transcendent light in their real form, the self. In that state, free from attachment, they move at will, laughing, playing, and rejoicing. They know that the self is not this body, but only tied to it for a time, as an ox is tied to its cart. So you can see the self is really similar to the Western idea of a soul, except that for our conception of a soul, everyone kind of has their own soul. Like my soul will transcend my body when I die, and so will yours. However, the self is not individual. Everybody is part of the self. So it's kind of similar to the Brahman thing. Brahman is everything, so is self. Self is everyone, I guess. And what you're trying to do with your life is align yourself with Brahman, with reality, so you can be a part of everything and realize that nothing is separate, nothing's distinct, everything is one. There's also a lot more to it than that. See, disclaimer, I'm just talking about the things that I think are cool, and there's a lot more because it's an intensely long and ancient religion, but this is just the part that I'm talking about, and yeah. We did this exercise in class related to the idea of the self and Brahman, and it was based off of another thing in the Upanishad, specifically the Chandogya Upanishad. You would pair off, and one person would just name stuff, and the other person in response had to say every time, I am that. And it sounded dumb at first, but it actually ended up being pretty cool, and here's kind of how it played out. Binder. I am that. Pencil. I am that. Poop face. I am that. And as people ran out of observations and jokes, stupid jokes, they had to get creative. And yes, I'm in different clothes because it is taking me 3 days to do this video. Michael Brown. I am that. Syria. I am that. Ray Rice. I am that. Dead. I am that. Towards the end, it got kind of hard to say I am that to what your partner was saying to you. I mean, I definitely didn't want to say I was dead, or, a famous football player beating his fiance. That's the thing, though. It's yourself. It's the Atman. It's everything. It's not just your soul. It's everyone's soul. And what it's trying to do is unite with Brahman, the ultimate reality, everything that is. And everything that isn't what you would think is all good or all bad. It's everything. So obviously you don't have to believe in Hinduism to appreciate this. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in it. I still think it's just an interesting idea that you are part of everything. Everything is part of you. Whatever you stubbed your toe on earlier, well, I am that. And yeah, there's a lot more to be said about it, but this video is already too long. Go read the Chandogya Upanishad. It's really interesting. Goodbye. I love you. I'll see you soon. Let's call each other and talk like real people. Bye.